Okay, so go ahead and check Google Classroom in the description to find out what page in your journal you need to be writing this on. But we are going to be talking about some shapes today, specifically quadrilaterals. And we're going to start by designing a concept web. And at the very top, we're going to title it Quadrilaterals. And quadrilaterals are any shape that has exactly 4 sides. Okay? Now we can have different types of quadrilaterals. One type is called a trapezoid. Now a trapezoid has one pair of parallel sides. And a trapezoid can typically look in 2 different ways. You can have the top and the bottom be parallel to each other. So those little triangles mean that those lines are parallel. Or you could have the sides be parallel to each other like this. So again, this would be parallel to this side. But it only has one pair of parallel sides. Now, if it only has one pair, if a quadrilateral only has one pair of parallel sides, then it is just considered a trapezoid, and that is it. Now, there's other types of quadrilaterals, which are categorized as parallelograms. And parallelograms have 2 pairs of parallel sides. And they typically look like this. So the top would be parallel to the bottom, and the 2 sides would be parallel to each other. So that is your typical drawing of a parallelogram. Now, if you have a quadrilateral that is a parallelogram, it can also be classified in 2 different ways. It could be classified as a rectangle, or it could be classified as a rhombus. Now, if it is a rectangle, it has 4 right angles and 2 pairs of congruent sides. So what I mean by that is you have this side and this side are parallel to each other, and they are also equal to each other. And then your top and bottom are also parallel to each other and also equal to each other. And then you also have all 4 angles as right angles. So that is your definition of a rectangle. Okay? As for a rhombus, it doesn't necessarily have 4 right angles, but it does have 4 congruent sides. So typically, kind of like a diamond, this side, this side, this side, and this side are congruent to each other, but it doesn't necessarily have 4 right angles. Now, we do have a shape that has both 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles, and that is called a square. And the square is exactly what I just said, has 4 right angles and 4 right sides. Sorry, not 4 right sides, 4 congruent sides. There we go. And we all know that a square has 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles. Okay, so just as a quick note, I can have a quadrilateral that is a parallelogram, that is a rectangle, and a square. So the most specific would be a square because it does have 4 right angles, it does have 4 congruent sides, which means it does have 2 pairs or 4 congruent sides, which means it has 2 pairs of parallel sides. Okay, so if it is down here, it is the things that go above it. Okay, as for a trapezoid, it is just a trapezoid. So the reason why we talk about this is because we're going to be talking about area of shapes and perimeters, and we need to know what shapes are so that we can identify the correct formula for area.